Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another episode of Trudge Report. This is a recovery-based podcast, but you wouldn't know it based on Corey's comments sometimes. But don't worry, if you're not sober or not ready to be sober, we talk about plenty of other things, including sports, trending topics, and a good bit of nonsense. My name is Sean and I am your host. I'm joined by my good friends and fellow trudgers. Please remember to listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, or my personal favorite, Castbox. Please remember that our videos will still be posted each week, so you can watch episodes on YouTube and Facebook. But as always, please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle @TrudgeReportPod. We are brought to you by Stella Mix Podcast Management and our wonderful producer and editor, Miss Janine Stella, who is out sick tonight. Prayers for her. Gentlemen, good evening. Happy recording Monday. Corey, is that the Penis Grove shirt I see?
Yeah, represent Penns Grove, New Jersey.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Damn, dude, I just lost it. What did you just say? You just said something
about Janine. Recording Monday. Hello.
Man, this sucks. All right,
He's frozen.
Greg, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing pretty well.
We'll come back to Corey.
Oh, I remember.
Well.
I remember, guys. I remember.
Okay.
Dude, what did you say you listened to podcast on?
Oh, I have
Chat
one
box.
called no Castbox. CASTBOX.
I swear to the good Lord that it is just like you to be on some platform that nobody's ever heard of, listening to podcast. I've never heard of that.
I've had it for years.
It's like the lime wire of podcasting.
Sean, I'm on a podcast and I've never heard that.
I've had that app since 2019.
Holy crap.
Yep.
I'm glad it served you well.
I love my Castbox. It's user friendly.
Fair enough.
All right.
What's going on, Greg?
Man, we're doing pretty good, man. As some of you may know, my Cleveland Guardians, as much as it pains me to say, have not only won the division, but are in the playoffs and hosting the AL wild card against the Detroit starting tomorrow against the Tigers. It's going to be fun. We're pumped for it.
It's an afternoon game, I think, right? Like 1 o'clock.
It is. They're all 1 o'clock games. It's what we're used to here in the Cleveland market. Not the prime time, but you know what? It was a great run. In the beginning of September, we had like a 2.5% chance to win the division. We were like 15 and a half games back on Detroit, and whether you want to call it a historic bungle, whatever you want to call it, by the Tigers, or just some great baseball by the Guardians. But yeah, we're pumped for October baseball. We have an announcement from our household. We have my beautiful fiance is the proud owner of a brand new 2025 Mazda CX-50.
Not what Sean was expecting.
No,
not what I was expecting.
Not what her parents were expecting when we led in with the news like that, and then she took the ball and started rolling with it. And then her poor mother looked like she was going to faint. I'm like, you cannot do that. We cannot continue this joke. But yeah, it was, it's cool, man. Cool. I've never, I don't own it, but she does, but I've never had a brand new car before, like a brand spanking.
That's what Catherine's Buick is that we got her about a year and a half ago. Brand spanking new.
Yeah, dude.
You guys are all rich. Great.
No,
not poor. Hashtag not poor.
But so very cool on that front. And yeah, man, just kicking in the fall season here. So
nice. Good stuff. Corey,
listen,
back to you, sir.
Yeah, back to me. You tell Lauren that we're part of the same club now, the Mazda Club. Hopefully, hers came with a dent in the door like mine. But if not, well.
Her dad actually said today, he goes, well, the first dent is coming. It'll happen.
Just do it now.
Get it over with.
Just put a little one in the
She is, not to put her on blast, but is she a good driver?
Yes, she is. She's a cautious driver, so she's not like
that's the way it should be.
But yes, she is a good driver. She actually we were driving one night not too long ago on the highway here, and we if I would have driven, we probably would have got hit by this idiot in a minivan that like literally like almost sideswiped us on the highway going like 90 miles an hour. But she evaded it. She hit evasive maneuvering, and it was like something out of a James Bond movie. It was awesome.
Tell her that we should get together and like drive around our Mazdas and like beat people up and shit. Like we're in a gang.
As long as the speed limit's being observed, sure.
Oh, I drive about 5 under.
I don't. I have a little bit of a heavy foot.
Same.
You do. Lead in that boot, dude. I don't know, Sean. I'm good. I'm getting over being. I'm not good actually. My life's falling apart, but it's fundamentally all as well.
But fundamentally all as well. There you go.
But I'm getting over being sick. That was ridiculous and whatever. But, you know, it didn't last too long, so.
That's
and
good.
I'm always grateful to get sick in a weird way. I'm always grateful to get sick on a Friday. I don't miss any work normally. I could just like relax and try to get better weekend. So that worked out well.
Good.
Invigorating stuff. So
that's it, huh? Okay, cool. Good.
Did you get sick from going to Disney?
Ooh.
It could be. I did. So we did go to Disney. That was exciting. It could possibly. I don't know though. Gabby was sick for like a week. She still wasn't really. I mean, she's better, but she's slowly getting better.
Did you shell out for the lightsaber yet?
Oh God, no. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, no. We went to Mickey's Not So Scary whatever party, and it was cool. It was cool. It downpoured on us for like the first 2 hours, which made the lines not as bad for rides. So that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. But
well, just an offer. When we do, we can mutually decide. I know this is a hang up of mine, but when you're ready, we will get lightsabers from Disney. I'll make the trip. We'll go to Disney. I'll bring Lauren and Peyton. We'll make the lightsabers, and we can be like those adult nerds that have like lightsaber duels.
Well, I'm what you call a poor now, and when I bought these tickets, I was not a poor, so that's gonna be a while. But
were you poor when you were doing drugs?
Yeah, but you know
found
what?
A way.
Life
finds a way.
Spirit, right? The spirit, the poor. Blessed are the poor. Right? Am I blessed, Sean?
You are blessed, my friend. That is for sure.
I am blessed.
You are touched as well.
Measure.
You are touched as well, but you are blessed.
Let's not go there, Sean. All right? It's fucking weird.
Spooky cup.
How's McDonald doing?
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine, dude. I'm good. I had everything's good. Baby's doing good. Life's busy but fun. Went to a big old college football party this weekend at our buddy's house that is a chef, Greg.
Wasn't invited.
You were invited, as a matter of fact, and you didn't even respond in the group thread, even after I asked you specifically. This is what you want to know. What grinds my gears, Gregory?
Grind them.
When people don't fucking respond in group threads when they are specifically asked a question. Corey was invited to this thing a month ago, then tried to say the other night, "Oh, I wasn't invited to that." And I was like, "Read your damn text message." And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I was, but I don't know. Gabby might have to work." And I was like, "Cool. Then, but you're invited. Figure it out if you want to come." And then I specifically asked him a few days ago in the group thread, "Corey, are you coming?" Not a peep. He did text me on the side, but Greg, he did one of those things. He did one of those very Corey Mitchner things where he texted me on the side singly, and he didn't actually say he wasn't coming. He just said, "Hey, I'm sick. I won't make the DCM meeting this morning," which was also his way of saying he's not coming to the college football party. So,
to be dead honest, though,
I'm not done. Greg asked me how I was doing.
Well,
the party was wonderful. Our friend John is a chef, Greg. You'd appreciate him. He made a taco bar that was unbelievable.
Ooh, nice.
He had mojo chicken and mojo pork, corn tortillas, flour tortillas, all the fixins, homemade salsa verde and homemade spicy salsa. and sour, dude, homemade guac. Like it was phenomenal.
Nice.
And there was so much food. And just imagine, 10 or 12, sober guys, a lot of Diet Coke.
Just
Vinny
banging
brought
tacos.
Vinny brought espresso coffee soda. It's a Manhattan special. It's coffee soda. It's delicious. A lot of sugar though. They had cigars. I didn't partake in the cigars. We had a lovely time. He had 2 big screen TVs side by side the whole night, and then one outside on the back porch. It was a lovely time.
Was it any
And you
specific
missed it,
game, or you
Corey.
guys were just running them?
A lot of them were so he's from Georgia and he had a friend in town from Georgia. Dude, so his friend, shout out to this guy, awesome dude. His literal given name, and he's an alcoholic, he's in recovery, 9 years sober. His given name is Lusher, Lusher. His nickname
Glenn
is
would have a
Lush. It's amazing. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And
a cow.
he lives in Brunswick, Georgia, and he goes to the Indigo Coastal Shanty 3 times a week.
Nice.
So
nice.
Wow.
awesome dude. I called him Lushmaster Flex the entire weekend. I don't know why, because we played golf on Saturday too, and then but he super cool guy. So a lot of them were Georgia fans. We had some Alabama fans there, and then we had a couple Penn State fans. So we watched those 2 games, but then we got there like late afternoon, so we watched like the LSU game, the Tennessee game as well, and just kind of rolled through it. So sorry about your loss there, Corey.
I watched that too. Sean,
I'm good.
Just for clarification.
Yes, sir.
I slept like from Friday around 4:30.
Sounds like an excuse to me, Greg.
Saturday morning. And so.
Well, you were invited. And you know what? Despite your crankiness, we missed you. You would have been additive there. We would have had fun with you there. More fun.
I do tend to make a good impression somehow. But yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Quick side note. Did anybody else did anybody else this week besides me? Because I did. But did anybody else call their moms, ask her if she was taking Tylenol while she was pregnant with us?
No, because I already know my mom wasn't. My mom literally doesn't take those over-the-counter medications like ever.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure my mom was.
My mom's a health nut. She doesn't believe in that stuff.
You saying you got that tism, Corey? You think you got that touch?
I just
you might be on the spectrum, bro. That would explain a lot, actually.
It explain these little ass hands, probably.
Explains your irrational fear of everything.
Yeah, like my mom taking Tylenol.
But aren't you supposed to have like one? Aren't you supposed to have like one thing like you're like a savant in or something?
Literally nothing. I'm not actually that good at anything. Even it sucks, dude.
You're not actually that bad at anything either, but you're not that good at anything.
It's the worst. Like I'm good enough at accounting to have a job, but I'm not like some genius. And I'm like good enough at music to entertain, but I'm not like good enough to do anything. It sucks. It's very I
beg to differ. I think you actually could be good enough at music to do something. You just don't believe in yourself.
I don't know, man.
You don't believe in yourself.
We could go in a whole thing about that. I won't bore our listeners with my pity party, but
that's good.
But if anybody wants to listen, they can call me. I'll gladly share.
All right. Shall we get into it? Let's get into some stuff. So we're going to break down. First thing we're going to do, as promised to our listeners, trying to be a little more recovery centric, or at least make sure we touch on the recovery. We're going to break down the long version, or I guess the original version of the Serenity Prayer, right? A lot of us know the short version or the abridged version that we say in a lot of our recovery groups and stuff. We're going to break down the long version of that. So I think my IT skills are correct. I can share my screen.
Here it comes.
I'm going to share it real quick. I think. No, I'm not, because it's going to take too long. So I'll try to get this in on when we do. Yeah, my IT stuff stinks, guys. I didn't think far enough ahead that I had to get it set and ready to go. So I have it right here. I'll try to get it posted while we do this. But I'm gonna read it real quick, and then I want like let's talk about it real quick. And so it's attributed to a guy named Reinhold Neubauer, who lived from the great years of 1892 to 1971. And the first part we all know. So God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. That's what we all know. It continues living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking as he did, capital H, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever and ever in the next. Amen. So,
Wow.
Greg, I'll kick to you first, and just some thoughts, and maybe we go like, because we all learned this. I didn't know this prayer before I got sober, and how important and what role it played in our lives, getting sober and continually, and then anything else we like about it.
I mean, I like a lot about it. The first thing, and I think we can kind of like really break this all down. Um, the first thing here is grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, right? And there's a lot. As a matter of fact, it's everything that I cannot change. The only thing I can truly change is myself, my actions, and more importantly, how I let the actions of other people either affect me or not affect me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the big thing, right? We talk about resentment being the number one offender. It kills more alcoholics and drug addicts than anything else, and that's certainly the truth. And so accepting that other people, other things are not going to always go as planned for good old Greg, you know. And I got to be okay with that. And I have to take a step back from trying to control everything, trying to think that I have it all figured out, and try to just kind of reevaluate what's going on in my own personal life, as opposed to trying to control the lives and the actions of other people. So that's huge to me right off the bat. And I don't know if I want to, we want to kick it to you guys and you guys kind of expound on that, or we just keep going, whatever you guys want.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, we can go around like that. You want to go next, Corey? You want to say something?
Yes, Sean, I would.
By the way, I got it. I shared the screen. I got it.
You did share the screen.
Oh, is that? Thank God you didn't have anything inappropriate behind that. But,
Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good.
I have a funny story about the Serenity Prayer.
Let's hear it.
Actually, it's not that funny, to be honest. But I can tell you when I first stumbled upon it, and it was long before I entered any recovery group. It was, it was like right after I got arrested with drugs for the first time when I was 17. And I don't know, I was living in a house with somebody else that had some rehab experience, and like, I was supposed to go on this like journey of sobriety after that, because that was supposed to be the bottom of my bottom, I guess, and it was not. But anyway, he gave me a coin, like a medallion kind of, that had the Serenity Prayer on it. And it was like, here, I got this when I went to rehab to get sober, and meanwhile he drank like a fish still and whatever. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, that's when I first came across it. And funny enough, because I'm a moron, or I was a moron, and I don't know what my motive was in this, but I like put up the Serenity Prayer as my profile picture on Facebook, because again, I really was taking sobriety seriously this day. And which did not last but a couple days. but I put it as my profile picture, and I didn't even know that that was just obviously it's not a prayer specific to people in sobriety, but like it's very extremely common in the rooms of recovery and the like. And so then like everybody was commenting on it about, I'll just take it one day at a time, Corey. Essentially I told the world that I was a drug addict without meaning to. But
They all thought you were trying to get sober, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was weird. I honestly, I probably still I'll go look in a minute. But anyway, damn it, Sean, I was reading that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
All right, it's all right. I have it here. um, anyway, my thoughts on this prayer is, I've only come across the long form a couple times. This being probably the second or third. To be honest, I'm not familiar with it at all. So looking at it now, I definitely think that we recite the not as good end of it. Like as it goes on, it's kind of meaningful, and I really like where it says accepting hardships as the pathway to peace.
That's what I like too.
Because man, like, ain't that the truth about life, dude? Life is so unexplainable, and like we've talked about it a lot over the last couple weeks, and like things get difficult. I I often think I'm doing this whole thing wrong, and I probably am to some degree, but like I also know that it's just like I'm also dealing with external things too, so it's like just things come up, and I will say the hardships in my life, I have to take responsibility for them and say that 9 times, even more than that, like 99 out of 100 times I set the ball rolling in them. Actually, dude, I mean, I like to say often in meetings and stuff that I can't really name a thing that's ever like just happened to me. You know what I mean? So like as I sit here and say that, I'm kind of correcting myself. But whatever. Not whatever, but like that's where we're at. And I just like that because it's everything's temporary. Everything in this world is temporary. So
even life itself.
Even life is temporary. So it gets better. And then it's probably going to suck again one day, and then it's going to get better again. So that's just the truth. But it does make more sense to have a power in my life that I can rely on through those hard times and thank him for the good times. And it just, yeah, like I said before, like to me it just makes more logical sense to have that power in my life than to not. To say that all this means nothing and is going nowhere, just it actually doesn't make logical sense to me. Right. And it's much better living life like it is going somewhere and that it is a part of a plan. So I don't know. That's what I have now.
Thank you, Corey. I think you're too hard on yourself sometimes, Corey, sincerely.
Not hard enough, Sean.
Well, maybe that's true too, but I used to say this prayer, the shorter version of it, the abridged version. I can remember learning this prayer, and I would say this prayer sometimes when I was like having a rough day or going through stuff in early sobriety. I would, no lie, like just say this prayer over and over and over again for sometimes 10, 20, 30 minutes at a time, like just at work, in my head, like constantly just saying it over and over. And the prayer helped, yes, but I think just the catharsis, or that's not a word, Sean. The cathartic nature of just saying it over and over again was really something that helped me in early sobriety. I like what you said too, Corey, about accepting this world. I'm in agreement, by the way, Corey. Accepting hardships as the pathway to peace. I really like that, man. And I can remember Papa Ron always teaching me, like, there's no, we don't look at them as problems. Don't look at them as whatever. Look at them as like obstacles and like learning experiences and growth experiences, which is totally like a cheesy way to do it and like kind of like Pollyanna, but it's so true, right? When I look at it as an opportunity to grow spiritually and just kind of one of those an opportunity to demonstrate God's all powerfulness, His omnipotence. Like I don't know, it does something to me. It helps calm things down a little bit. The other thing I really like is that um, taking as He did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, right? And I am part of that sinful world. I am just as much a sinner and at fault as the next guy is. And when I just like some of our literature says, when I recognize a fault in you, it's typically because I either have that fault in myself or have had it at some point. um, because I love to take the blame and put it on other people and point the finger at other people and anything to not look at myself. I will say though, through the years of sobriety, I don't mind so much now turning that on myself and looking for where I'm at fault, because I know that on the other side of that, um, is another little bit of freedom. Admitting I'm wrong. I have a guy that I was mentoring, actually, who I've mentored for many years, and he did something a few weeks ago that really pissed me off. And yes, he was wrong. I think he was wrong, but I like didn't pause when agitated or doubtful, and I jumped on him pretty good, to the point where 3 or 4 days later I was like, damn it, like I got to call him up and apologize. Not so much for what I said, but more so again for how I said it, how I came off, and just kind of cutting him down. And it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to admit that, especially when you're mentoring a person like that. There's that super like not real um, line, but like that in our own heads of like, oh, I shouldn't like make mistakes when I'm mentoring people. That's such BS, and it keeps me in bondage. But this prayer has helped with all that, and just knowing that I'm just as much of a sinner and just as much at fault, or could be, as the next person, seeing myself in the newcomers that I mentor, seeing myself in anybody that I mentor, and giving them grace, but also, Corey, to what I just said about you, like giving ourselves a little grace too, and ourselves an opportunity to continue to grow. So I don't know. Back to you, Greg, if there's anything else you want to say about it.
Well, I do like that. That was what you guys both said is phenomenal. I love that accepting hardships as a pathway to peace. And I don't look at what you were saying, Sean, as Pollyanna or cliche at all, because to me, I love all these BS rules we make up for ourselves sometimes, or there's just these ideas of how things should be and how things are.
Yeah.
We do live in all things considered, and when you look at the history of not only our country but civilization as we know it, we do live in a pretty easy, cushy time in existence where we have things pretty damn easy right now, even though if you ask all of us on certain days or certain stretches, are this is terrible or whatever. But there are no guarantees out there that it was going to be easy,
Yeah.
and there's no promises out there that say that life is not supposed to be hard. And to me, of course, when you're going through particular hardships and stuff like that, whether it be in recovery or just in life, it's going to feel tough, and you're going to feel the weight of it, and you're going to come home exhausted some days, and you're going to, sometimes you're going to stray into resentful thinking, and maybe even into like retreating back into like some victim type thinking where, I can give a perfect example that's recently happened in my life where I was, in my job, like we were very short staffed all summer long. We are having hard time staffing stuff up. And so a lot of that, a lot of the work fell on my lap and a couple other people's laps. And, as a higher up, and at times I really did not do a good job being the leader that I'm supposed to be. I held it together we got our sales out. Our sales were way up, and we were doing the job, but I was not walking around being a good leader, right? And I got into that victim type mentality all over again, where it's just like, screw this, like, just that, all that, like, me ego shit, right? And I start thinking that life is really hard and this is BS, and I'm worth more than this. And yeah, and at the end of the day, like, that kind of thinking and that behavior and those actions on the daily basis not only put me in a not so great train of thought, but it almost cost me my job,
Right.
where I legit thought, and it probably was, my job was on the line because of the attitude and demeanor that I was walking around with every day, right? Again, still going in, still getting the job done, still doing things that other people within my company cannot do, but not doing them in a way a leader is supposed to, right? And so that for me is, I have to accept those hardships and I have to face them head on. And you know what? When I come out the other side, I come out a stronger person. I come out a more well-balanced individual. But
Yeah.
There are no guarantees that any of this is supposed to be easy. And furthermore, if I look back on some of the hardest times of my life and the hardest times of my sobriety and the hardest times of my active addiction, that stuff has shaped me into the man I've become today and allowed me to do all these amazing things that I never would have thought possible. So I love that part right there. I think what you guys said are spot on, and yeah, it's a great prayer, man. Especially the extended version that you don't hear as much.
Yep. We have just society in general has this thing where we just try to shorten everything. You know what I mean? There's so many different things that we do it with, and sometimes if you look back on the origination of a lot of these things, especially a prayer or whatever, I don't know, they're pretty powerful. And there's a like I said, there's a catharsis in these childhood prayers. I didn't know the Serenity Prayer as a child, but like some of the other prayers I learned as a child, I find so much comfort today. In just saying them, like just like the comfort in saying them, the stuff that I learned as a kid that my mom taught me or my grandma taught me or whatever. And it's a powerful thing. The words are pretty powerful. So
I have
any
one
parting,
last. Yeah, I
I
have
was
one
just gonna
last
say,
thing,
any
Sean.
parting thoughts on this topic, Corey?
Yeah. Turns out I just looked back in my profile pictures and I posted it January 2014 as my profile picture, and my memory did not serve me right because only one person commented. So basically, I'll go fuck myself. And lastly, when Sean, when you were talking, you reminded me, Greg. I don't know if you know this, but Sean had to make it. He didn't have to, but he made an amends to me one time in my whole entire life, and I can't say what it was for because it involved another person. But
it wasn't too long ago, if I remember right.
No, oh wait, was there another time? No, this
I
was
feel
years
like
ago.
I feel like I made a one to you. Okay. Anyways, it's all right.
No, you no.
You know what I'm talking about?
God,
It was probably like 6-8 months ago. It was about this here podcast.
This here.
Oh yeah, kind. I didn't really.
Okay,
Yeah,
it wasn't that one though. All right.
but even the one I'm thinking of really wasn't that big of a deal at all. I will say this. I'll say exactly what it was, but I don't have to say who, and we won't speculate.
Okay.
But he called somebody a negative Nancy, and he felt as though that perturbed me, which it really didn't. That was all it was. But my point is, you probably owe me a few. I'm just saying.
I might.
Wow.
I might. I'll make sure to keep that in mind on my next inventory. All right, guys, let's switch gears. Good stuff. Switching gears. I want to learn. I'm going to be the student, and I want the two of you, which mostly probably means Greg, because Corey probably didn't do any research as normal. But I feel like, Corey, you probably know some of this stuff just because it's a topic of interest. We are entering what time of year, gentlemen?
Halloween.
Christmas.
What do you like to call it, Corey? Spooky season?
It is spooky season.
We are entering spooky season. This episode will air after October has started.
Dang it. Arizona
Greg has
Brothers.
already dematerialized into a paranormal spirit, but we're going to touch on the history of Halloween, how Halloween kind of came to be what we know it as today in America, the origins of it, which I was doing some research today and I knew some of that stuff of where it came from, but just fascinating. Nice, dude. Nice.
Had
That's
to take
why
a
he
little
had
trip, baby.
that's why he had that other background, Corey. Very good. For all of
Yes.
those who will never watch this episode, Greg has a
We're coming to you
wonderful,
live from the graveyard.
wonderful background for spooky season for Halloween, and very nice. Kudos to you. So I want to be the student. I want you guys to teach me. Greg, take it away whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the origins of Halloween, I guess. Do you have anything you want to lead in with, Corey, before I get this rolling? Before I drop some info nuggets?
I don't know. Can I say I don't know for a fact what the origins of Halloween are.
Well,
but can I say though, I think that let me say this, Greg. Tell me if I'm right or wrong and we can get into it. The costumes thing. That comes from a culture, maybe Mexican. Don't know. Am I wrong? And the deal is though, it's to scare away the spirits, no?
I think it was Irish,
actually. Part of it,
Is
yes.
it Irish? I should know.
Well,
let
me just go ahead.
Greg, why don't you just teach us,
a little fucking truth on you guys here?
We're your students, Greg. Teach us.
All right, so we got a lot of information to pack in here. So excuse me if I run through some things quickly here. Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year. So yes, it Sean, you were right. It did. Halloween originated as Samhain is how it's pronounced. It is spelled
much differently than that.
Americans would say Samhain, okay, but it is actually pronounced.
That's how I was thinking it was pronounced Samhain. When I was reading it up today.
You white
and that is
boy.
A Gaelic festival on November 1st, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, or the darker half of the year. Its origins began in they're saying it could go back as far as 2,000 years ago in Gaelic Ireland. In the earliest Old Irish literature, which dates from the 9th century onward, Samhain was one of the 4 Gaelic seasonal festivals. It is, according to the mythology, a time when the doorways to the other world opened, allowing supernatural beings and the souls of the dead to come into our world. So while the summertime festival was a festival for the living, Samhain was essentially a festival for the dead.
I have a note here. The boundary between the living and the dead was thin, which I think that's a great way to put it. Like,
the veil is thin.
Yeah.
Some tales suggest that offerings or sacrifices were made at Samhain. And there's a lot of like Gaelic here, and despite my Irish heritage, I am not going to attempt to speak Gaelic on this podcast, on this here pod. But from the Gaelic Book of Invasions, each Samhain, the people of Nemid had to give 2/3 of their children, their corn, and their milk to the monstrous Fomorians, which seem to represent the harmful and destructive powers of nature, personifications of chaos, darkness, death, blight, and drought. So as far as the customs were concerned, like I said, it was one of the 4 main festivals. Samhain began on the night of October 31st and went into November 1st. Again, it marked the end of the harvest season and the start of winter, essentially, and what they call the liminal time, which is what you're saying, Sean, where the veil between the living and the dead was the thinnest. The beliefs at the time were that the spirits of the dead could return to Earth People often wore costumes and lit bonfires to ward off harmful spirits, and then offerings were left outside of the dwellings for wandering spirits or deities. As the Romans began to in the early, you know, I want to say 11th or 12th centuries, began to
I think I have it
conquer
right here.
the Celtic lands. Two of their own festivals blended into Samhain, and so one was Feralia, which was a day in late October to honor the dead, and the other was Pomona, a celebration of the goddess of fruit and trees, and the apple became the symbol, which nowadays we have apple bobbing. So obviously all these kind of customs and stuff like that come from and are rooted in this ancient stuff.
Looks like 8th century.
8th century,
right, just so you know, Roman.
Right? Yeah, I was a little ahead of my time there. So as the Romans are conquering the Celtic lands and other sections of Europe, and even Africa, the Catholic Church decides that they are going to, instead of Pope Gregory the first, also known as Saint Gregory the Great.
Are you the second?
Boy.
Third?
Direct descendant, are you?
Who knows? But he decided that instead of trying to do away with the religious customs of non-Christian peoples, they should simply convert them to a Christian religious purpose. So, he would convert, or the site of like a pagan temple can be converted to become a Christian church, and so on and so forth. So in that fashion, Samhain, the dark supernatural festival of the Celts, eventually was converted and given a Christian context. The ancient Celts believed that all sorts of threatening spirits were out and about on Samhain. The early medieval Christian church believed in saints, so Christians who were remarkable for their devout religious beliefs and lives. But saints also had a supernatural side, such as their involvement in different miraculous occurrences, right? So the church mixed both of those concepts or beliefs involving like the Celtic spirits and the Catholic saints, and they designated November 1st as All Saints Day. And then instead of the first night of Samhain on October 31st, that became All Hallows Day evening, which is the night before the saints were venerated. When that name morphed into Halloween, I'm not so sure, but I didn't get a lot of information on that. But so that was kind of how the Catholic Church adopted those kind of things, and then we kind of fast forward through about 1,000 years or so, but how it came to be popularized here in America, and I guess the spread to America, right? Because in colonial times, Halloween was not celebrated here because obviously due to Puritan religious beliefs, especially in New England. It was celebrated a little bit in the southern colonies.
Don't want to have any fun,
right? Where in the southern colonies, there's a little bit more religious and cultural mixing, so it was celebrated a little bit, but it was largely adopted in the 19th century. In the 1840s, during the Great Potato Famine, you had a massive Irish and Scottish immigration to the United States, which brought a lot of those ancient Celtic traditions to the U.S. Some of those ancient customs obviously had evolved, but they grew from, ritual bonfires, divination, things like that, spirits and souls, and the kind of spookiness involving them, the honoring of the dead, that kind of stuff. And then here's a big one. And it was first recorded in 16th century Scotland, but they called it mumming and guising. Okay.
Nice.
You've
been mummed and guised.
You've been mummed and guised. And so it's when people went from house to house in costume or disguise, usually reciting songs or verses in exchange for food, right? So this is the earliest form of trick-or-treating. In Scotland, young men went house to house with masked, veiled, painted, or blackened faces, often threatening to do mischief if they were not welcomed.
That would not fly today, buddy.
Right.
That would not fly today.
So that would not fly today. I believe they call that B&E.
No blackface today.
Nope, no blackface. But I will tell you, upon doing some of my research, some of the old traditional masks, if I can get you guys some photos, maybe we can upload them to the episode. Absolutely horrific. Just nightmare fuel, really. So yeah, so that's the mumming and guising. It was the earliest form of trick-or-treating in 16th century Scotland.
And then I found a note, it became referred to Halloween specifically around the 18th century. So
right.
But it only came from All Hallows Eve, right? Like there was no in between word. Am I right? Like that's what I saw. Like it went from All Hallows Eve to Halloween.
Well, yeah, but I think it started as like the All Saints Day and all that stuff first. To
me, it just seems like that's a pretty big jump in words. But whatever. Also, I guess they do whatever they want.
One of the things that we've benefited from, or actually, I guess you could say our contribution as Americans to Halloween is because in the earlier days, and in Ireland and Scotland, they were carving turnips. Okay.
Nice.
Because they didn't have the pumpkins were not exactly plentiful, but they are plentiful here. Right. Wow. So all of our fiancés, wives, significant others, even maybe ourselves that love that pumpkin spice latte, that could have very easily been a turnip spiced latte if you weren't careful. So
I'll try anything once.
I'll try anything twice just in case I was.
Hey, you know what? If those turnips come from Schrute Farms, I'm in.
So. Oh, dude. And you know what? And if I try it once and it's crack, I'll try it like 6,000 more times.
Yep.
Here it is. Scottish poet Robert Burns in 1786, a poem he wrote entitled Halloween helped cement the spelling and the way to say it into the world, leading to its widespread use.
I was beginning to think Dave Matthews came up with it, to be honest, but
well, he was the second person, naturally.
All right. Greg, have you said yet? I might be jumping ahead. Have you said why there's jack-o'-lantern carving? Why there's pumpkin carving?
Well, they were carving turnips.
But like, why were they doing that? Does it say?
I did not get that. No.
I think I have a note on that.
I wonder if that was to scare away the ghost. Something was to scare away ghosts.
Well,
I think them dressing up, that was the whole
to ward off,
scare away the ghost thing. Them dressing up.
Okay. Gotcha.
Here I got it. Originally, jack-o'-lanterns. Originally, people carved turnips and other root vegetables to create lanterns from the legend of Stingy Jack. But Irish immigrants later switched to pumpkins, which I don't know. It's cut off at the end, but it sounds like they were for lanterns, though, Corey. It was for lights. It was for light. They put a candle in there.
Yeah, this is a little bit more decorative than your standard lantern.
This podcast is ruining Halloween for me.
Good.
So. Go ahead, keep going, Greg. I'll look it up.
So so early 1900s, Halloween here in America began to evolve into a community-based holiday. In the 20s and 30s, it became a little bit more secular, focusing on parties, parades, and trick-or-treating. And then post-World War II, with the baby boom and big suburban growth, made trick-or-treating kind of like a widespread tradition. Today, Halloween in the United States a major commercial holiday second only to Christmas in consumer spending.
Wow.
Obviously, the traditions include trick-or-treating,
Really?
haunted houses, which are my fave. I still love going to them.
Man, do you
Poor,
really?
poor Lauren hates this time of year because she has to begrudgingly accompany me. I think we're only going to do one or two this year because
Does she
that's
like
what we
horror
do.
movies?
She enjoys watching a good horror movie, but she
Okay.
does not like it's a true anxiety inducing experience to go to the haunted houses with her.
Corey, you were right. They were for light, the turnips inside of them, and then the pumpkins for light, but they also were to help ward off evil spirits. So
You know what?
just
I have to
so
look
you
up
know.
a picture of a turnip because I think I know what a turnip looks like, but I don't just be eating turnips, guys. Turnip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Turnip.
How do you carve that?
Very
Maybe
carefully.
they looked different back then. Maybe they were bigger. I don't know.
You got to be careful.
Thank God we have pumpkins.
So yeah, so obviously today we got trick or treating, haunted houses, costume parties, pumpkin carving, as we were just talking about, horror movie marathons. Gotta love those. And yeah, as far as consumer spending is concerned, I mean, you got money for costumes, candy, decorations. I mean, the list goes on and on. In Europe, Ireland and Scotland still celebrate Halloween with it kind of more deeply rooted in the Samhain traditions. In the UK, it's grown in popularity, influenced by our media here and everything like that. But it's just as big there. Same thing. It's growing in popularity in Germany. France, Spain, and Italy have less traditional Halloween celebration, but then like they do have their own festivals that kind of celebrate the dead, things like that. We all know the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. So, yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year, if you ask me. So
Kind of a moron, dude. My sister-in-law spent Halloween in Ireland last year, and it's all coming back to me.
Here you go, guys. Here's a turnip. That's creepy, dude.
It's not up yet. Oh.
Yep.
That's what pictures.
That's
fucking
one of
Leatherface.
the nightmare fuels.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That's Texas Chainsaw Massacre right there.
Yeah, that's what they were doing before they went to to actual pumpkins. Thank God they switched to pumpkins.
Lord.
For anybody who's not watching this episode, you should totally subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch the episodes as well as listen to them. But we have a picture of a carved turnip. You could definitely put a candle in there. I mean, I see it.
That is creepy as shit.
Yeah, it is. I'm taking it down now.
It kind of goes to show, though, guys, that as Americans, we just tend to make everything better. Yeah.
So your sister was
not
in
untrue,
Ireland.
Corey. Not untrue.
Your sister was in Ireland for Halloween and didn't.
My sister-in-law.
And what was the report? Did they? No, nothing.
I don't know.
No.
I got to be honest. I didn't really ask. I'm pretty sure that they got into a fender bender with their rental car.
Sick.
I think that's about it.
That's pretty scary in a foreign country.
But you know what's weird, Greg? From everything you just said, I just find it so. It is. I just said that about Americans and stuff, but it is weird how different time can make something like a holiday, dude. Like even Christmas is way off from its origins. I mean, we know that's a little bit more commonly known, but where did all that come from? Either, you know what I mean? So,
well, I know you made the joke about how we Americans make it better. Americans also commercialize everything, monetize everything.
Yep.
There's a level of gluttony to everything we do as well. So,
right. That was half said in vain, but
I'm surprised to hear that it's the second highest grossing, just second to Christmas in terms of money spent. only because like you're not actually buying presents. You know what I mean? Like I understand Christmas because you're buying presents. I would have thought maybe Easter, but I guess that makes sense because people buy so much candy and then like decorations and stuff.
The
I would
decorations,
imagine
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is.
is Black
And you got
Friday
to
in there?
remember too is something that I did notice was slightly amiss when I was in Florida was I mean, obviously, like there's nowhere near the amount of haunted houses in Florida. Most of the time, you got to go to like one of the theme parks if you want to find a haunted house. Up here, you could throw a rock and
They're
hit
just
a
up
haunted
there.
house, and they're just yeah. But a lot of people decorate. A lot of people decorate. And a lot of people go all out. I might be guilty of that as well. So,
Dude, Florida is so weird when it comes to the holidays. It just gets weird. I mean, it just doesn't cool down. So like, I mean, you guys know, like trick or treating in Florida, like you're sweating you know,
We always go to our friend's neighborhood, Joe and Sarah. They live in a big nice neighborhood in a
HOA.
neighboring town, and their whole neighborhood goes off the rails with Halloween. Like they have
Is it?
about 3 or 4 haunted houses or like haunted walkthroughs, that they do, and they really go all out. It's like this.
Is it
It's
an
like a
HOA?
big, huh?
see,
Is it
Yeah.
an HOA? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love.
They even have like cops at the front, just like 'cause it's just so big and people come from all over. It's
Or
fun.
it's people dressed up as cops, but you'll never know.
Could be
True.
that too. Could be
True.
that too.
No, we like I love going to the actual like haunted houses that you pay for and stuff like that. But I do love and always tip my hat to the people that like they'll set up like a little mini haunted house in their garage for the
Yeah.
kids to run through. Like that's so cool to me that people do that kind of stuff. I love it. I love seeing people in the spirit. I love watching people get scared or run around and scaring people. And
Yeah.
we got a great neighborhood for here. I'll tell you what, these people do not skimp on the full size bars.
Do you live in a neighborhood, Greg, or is it? Or I always
yeah,
imagined you lived. Oh, that's right. I forgot you
Well, I
moved.
moved.
Your old
Yes,
house wasn't in
yes.
a neighborhood, was it?
No, well, it was technically in a neighborhood. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
at the very back of the neighborhood, with a lot of woods surrounding it. So,
Yeah.
but no, this is Lauren's neighborhood is awesome, and like I said, they don't skimp on the full size candy bars around here, boys.
Nice. Gotta love that.
Oh yeah.
Gotta
I
love that.
have Sean. I'm going out on a limb here, but can I pose a question to take us out?
Sure.
All right. Real quick, not or whatever. Let's get nostalgic, okay?
Okay.
Favorite memory of a costume of ours as kids, like what we dressed up as for Halloween. Do you guys have a favorite memory of something you dressed up as? Sean, did you dress up?
I did. Yeah, I did. I wasn't always 50 years old. That's a good question. I have a memory of Halloween of a night in my dad's neighborhood growing up, but I don't really have a great memory of like a favorite costume. I did a lot of ninjas. I definitely did like Dracula, vampires a bunch as well. Um I think I might have done like yeah, I did a lot of ninjas. I was really into the ninja stuff, but
See that. What about you,
that's it.
Greg?
Well, when I was young, when I was a kid, I don't know if you guys remember this. I might be dating myself a little bit here, but you used to be able to, like, when I was a kid, you go to Joanne Fabrics and they would have like so like my
Yeah.
grandmother loved to sew, right? She had the whole sewing, and so they had like the little kits, and you would buy the little package, like, and your grandma would make your costume for you. So she
Yeah.
made me a really cool Batman one year that was awesome. It probably looked terrible, but I thought it was cool. And then yeah, I remember as a teenager, probably like freshman in high school, but me and my buddy were big horror nerds, and Scream had just come out, so I bought the Ghostface costume, and he had like a legit Michael Myers costume with a legit mask, and we went around the neighborhood scaring the living hell out of everybody we came across the whole night. We were out all night. You know,
just
probably doing stuff you get shot for today. Like we'd go to like the girls on the cheerleading team. We'd go to like show up at their house and like tap on their window and stuff like that. Like stuff that nowadays it would be highly frowned upon.
ADT security would just call the cops on you right away, Greg.
Yeah. No.
Ring doorbell.
What about you, Corey?
First off, Greg, that just it tickles my soul because even though I like the youth that I have, I think the 90s were like prime Halloween time, dude. Like
no better.
So many good movies, and I had missed it by. I mean, I was born in '95. Anyway,
missed it by that much.
Yeah. You know, but dude, I think I think I was a couple superheroes and stuff when I was younger, and that was cool. And you know, I did Batman and all that, from what I remember. But my favorite, I think, was Freddy Krueger. I did Freddy Krueger one time, and that was right after Freddy versus Jason came out, which I should not have been watching at that age. Should not have been. I'd be pissed.
Did you do mask or makeup? Mask or makeup?
Mask.
Okay.
Mask. And to top it off, guys, this year, not as cool, but still cool in its own way. I have to be Buzz Lightyear. So
sick.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. Lauren and I have talked about being from the movie Holes, whatever those people were called. The Diggers.
Holes?
Yeah, with
the Shia LaBeouf movie.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that one, dude.
I just recently saw it for the very first time.
Strange movie.
Awesome flick.
I have a bad taste in my mouth for some reason. I gotta revisit that.
All right.
Something happened around that movie.
While you're doing that, Corey, we're gonna wrap up if that's okay.
All right, but you guys, you just stay on with me for a couple hours.
Greg, well done. Thank you for the education lesson. That was good.
Yes,
we're gonna have more spooky topics coming to you through the month of October, and we look forward to it. So. Corey, thank you as always for your input as well. Shout out to our listeners. Please like, follow, and share on all socials at Trudge Report Pod. Email us, trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send in your mailbag requests for topics, questions, comments to any of these handles. Remember, we are all here if anyone wants to talk about recovery and our experiences, or if you are struggling with some form of addiction. Remember, you can always slide into Corey's DMs as well. Thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Good night, God bless, and may you trudge the road of happy destiny. We will see you all next week.